Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails by John G. Sutton. That's me, by the way, on the front of the book. HMP Manchester Prison Officer. There you are. That's me, age 25. Yeah, it's available on Amazon, by the way. Little plug in there before we start. Tales from the Jails. Please do like and subscribe. It's down there. And yesterday and the day before, I did talk about my experiences in show business. If you enjoyed those little chats, do let me know. And don't forget, on the 4th of June at 7 p.m. here on Tales from the Jails, live broadcast, 7 till 8 p.m. on the 4th of June. And I do hope you'll all join in and ask me loads of questions, anything you want about, well, relevant. You know, you can ask me about Euclid or Einstein's theory of relativity. It just won't get anywhere then, will it? I'm going to talk today about a broadcast on Radio 4 this morning. It was on at 9 o'clock, approximately about 9:20 a.m. apparently. It was about the capacity crisis in HM prisons, and the lady speaking was called Kathy Rowland of the Institute for Government, and she was saying that there is now a overflowing prisons population, bit of a panic going on, because they've only got 1% of the prison estate accommodation is now currently available. They've got 88,000 places, and they've currently got over 87,000 inmates. So they're down to 1%, and the government has brought in a new thing. It's called Early Dawn, Operation Early Dawn. I spoke about it the other day. Operation Early Dawn involves that non-priority offences will not result in arrests. In other words, the criminals can get away with it. So all of those of criminal intent, I hope you're paying attention, boys, because the government have just announced Operation Early Dawn. Out you go, and give it your best. Seriously, it's disgraceful, is it not, that the criminal justice system should be reduced to this? Apparently they're saying, or Kathy Rowland was saying this morning, that this started around about the time of the pandemic. That crime is actually falling, reported crime is actually falling between 2021 and 2023. It's fallen by a considerable amount. Between 2013 and 2023, it's fallen 40%. So there are less offenders out there. But despite the fact that people are offending, they are not getting arrested for it, because Operation Early Dawn says you won't do it if it's not. The police won't do it unless it's a priority arrest. What the hell's a priority arrest? If you've got somebody breaking into your house or damaging your property, to you, that is a priority. Wouldn't you agree? It would be me anyway. I mean, I've experienced this kind of nonsense and dealt with it physically, personally, and believe me, you get arrested then. Yeah, that becomes a priority. You say to the police, like, listen, my life was in danger here. It happened to me, actually. I was in London, and 3 big men came at me in a pub, said they were going to kill me. Yeah, we're going to kill you, Sutton. Came across with glasses in the hand. Took me about a second, 2 seconds. Flatten them. Bang, bang. On the floor, ambulance came. The big one that I hit the hardest, he had a fractured skull, and he ended up in Hammersmith Hospital. They charge me. The police. Imagine that. Me. I was standing in the bar doing nothing but have a quiet drink with one of my colleagues from Wormwood Scrubs. 3 big blokes come in, statement out loud, gonna kill you, Sutton. Come across the bar, glasses in hand. Next thing you know, ambulance came, took him away. What do you expect? What am I supposed to do? I told the police that. They said, oh no, you used too much force there. Too much force? What is too much force? To stop me from getting my head cut open? or possibly killed, which was their stated intent. Anyway, we ain't locking people up these days because there isn't no room. Apparently, the big crimes wave at the moment is sexual offences. Yeah, and the sexual offences are serving on average 1 year to 20 months. Of course, one of the reasons that we've got a massive overcrowding in the prisons is that instead of getting a 50% remission on inmate sentences, they have now reduced that to 2/3. So people ask, if you get a 9-year sentence, you're going to do 6 years instead of 4.5. That would kind of build the prison situation up. But amazingly, this Kathy Rowland stated that remand prisoners amount to 20% of the prison population. So that's about 20,000 people who are locked up in prison and they've not been found guilty of anything. Why have they not been found guilty? Why have they not been before the courts? Because the courts are in chaos. The courts are stacked. There's thousands and thousands of cases waiting to be tried by the Crown Court, and they can't get through them. The criminal justice system is in crisis, in utter chaos. So the remand prisoners are taking up 20% of the prison accommodation. Now, my experience of being of dealing with remand prisoners is no different than dealing with convicted prisoners. I personally didn't treat the remand prisoners any differently. You couldn't. I mean, don't forget, you've not got a great deal of time to mess about. When I was at the Scrubs, I was one of 4 officers dealing with C2 landing, which consisted of 200 inmates, packed into 88 cells, I believe there were, on C2 landing. And some of them were Category A prisoners, so they had single cells. Yeah? And what we've got at the moment is there ain't no spare cells. So what are they going to do with them? Anyway, what they've decided to do is they're going to release numerous prisoners early in their sentence. I think it's 75 days early, and let them out into the streets. So when we get people out on the streets who've been released early with nowhere to live, no accommodation, no jobs, no money, what they're going to do? Well, non-priority arrests. So they're going to be homeless, aren't they? Because they can't rob their way back into prison because the police ain't going to go do it for them. What a carry-on this is. Tales from the jails. I hope you're sincerely enjoying this rant. Anyway, I'm going to now... It's reached that time of day, when I'm going to... Ding dong ding, yeah. That's a song dinger, by the way. Larry the Lambin... He likes that, don't you, Larry? Yeah. He likes me singing as well. I was listening today to Frank Sinatra. If I'm gonna love you, it's for sure I'm gonna love you all the way through the in-between years. Anyway, something like that. But I'm now going to read you a poem. This is a famous poem by Robert Frost. It's The Road Not Taken. Are you sitting comfortably? Well, Larry isn't because he's chasing his goat now. It's goat or lamb, I don't know, mate, who cares? 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveller long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth, then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet, knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I would ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. I sincerely hope you enjoyed that, folks. Don't forget, the 4th of June, I'll be here, live broadcast, Tales from the Jails.